sometimes you'll be wondering, does the National Assembly truly shut down in that sense? Well, big questions. But what we've been hearing, whisperings that we've been hearing, is that all doesn't seem to be well in the House of Representatives, and that members could be planning a showdown with the Speaker of the House when it finally convenes or when it resumes anytime soon. But to help us shed light on whether this is just a storm in a teacup or whether this is, you know, the work of rumor mongers, we have with us Honorable Philip Agbese, who is the Deputy Spokesperson of the House of Representatives. Good morning and welcome to Sunrise Daily.
Thank you very much, Mark. Thank you.
Well, this is what we have heard. I do not know whether you're going to be, because you have had to debunk very strongly this news that members were unhappy with the Speaker of the House of Representatives. What could have given rise to this in the first instance?
Well, Mark, you know that in every human society, there are bound to be disagreement, and there are also moments of excitement. But in this case, there was actually no disagreement. There was nothing like that anywhere. We actually don't know where people got that story from. Actually, there were issues concerning, you know, non-execution of constituency projects as budgeted in the 2025 Appropriation Act. And of course, our constituents were getting worried, and that worry was transferred to members of parliament who in turn, you know, in one way or the other, decided to also air their views. But as a matter of fact, it has nothing to do with the wonderful leadership of His Excellency Right Honorable Tajuddin Abbas. Members of parliament are very, very happy with what he has done so far. His mode of leadership, his ability to run an inclusive government, you know, to carry everyone along. And you know, our legislative agenda is bubbling. We are delivering on our mandate. So as a matter of fact, I want to confirm, reaffirm once again to Nigerians that there's no such thing anywhere in the parliament.
That's very interesting, because you say that, you know, people were unhappy that they could not execute constituency projects. They expressed their unhappiness with members of the National Assembly, who in turn aired their grievances. Yet you say they are all happy. Everybody is,
yes,
happy.
Yes.
Meanwhile, there is some unhappiness.
No, yeah, like I said earlier, the unhappiness is actually coming from our constituents, because, you know, these projects have been advertised, you know, through our budget. The budget is an open document. And for instance, constituents who have seen projects that are going to bring about better living conditions in their communities are no longer happy that these things have not been executed. As a matter of fact, this is the first time that the capital expenditure component of the national budget would not be executed. Even this is September, 3 months to the end of that. Basically, that has nothing to do with the leadership of His Excellency Right Honorable Tajuddin Abbas. Even senators are also expressing the same view. But to situate it properly, it is the responsibility of the executive to execute the budget. It is not our responsibility. The best we have done is to nominate projects that have direct bearing on our constituencies, and we are hopeful. Even when that came up, His Excellency the Right Honorable Tajuddin Abbas, within a very short period of time, was able to constitute a committee headed by the Deputy Speaker, you know, who in turn invited the Honorable Minister of Finance and the Accountant General for the Federation. They had that meeting, and they reached some compromises between them and the local contractors. We were also worried that, you know, our local contractors have not been paid for jobs that have been fully executed. And I think the Honorable explained that they wanted to follow due process to ensure that, you know, the jobs that the contractors have executed, they truly confirm that those jobs have been executed before they make payments to them, and that, you know, distant time they will also commence the execution of the capital projects in the 2025 Appropriation Act. So that was what happened. So it is about a child who is hungry, you know, who has not eaten. Instead of directing his anger to his mother, of course, is looking for his siblings to hold responsible. The holder of the key to the kitchen in this instance is the executive, and we have listened to them, and I think members are also convinced. But again, you can't blame our constituents, for raising those issues. And even is equally affected by that. Other members of the leadership are affected by that. I think what members actually wanted was actually, we changed gear in terms of our relationship with the executive to be confrontational. But in line with Mr. Speaker's agenda, for the House and his leadership style, he has stated that he prefers a leadership that seeks to collaboration and partnership, not one that will be at war with the executive. And as a matter of fact, so far so good. We have looked at what the executive is also doing and the interaction we have had with them. We actually don't see any need for that kind of war, that some people want to have with the executive. That was why Mr. Speaker, in his wisdom, invited them. A second issue that was also raised was the issue
Honorable Philip, sorry, let me interrupt you. You're saying that, and I think that this is common knowledge, and a lot of people have been wondering what exactly is going on. The Appropriation Act, 2025 Appropriation has passed into law. It's a law, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Has not yet been executed. No capital component of it has been implemented. Is that correct?
Yes, that has been dragging.
That has been dragging.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, we understand we're still implementing the 2024 Appropriation Act. Is that correct?
Yes. In reality, I think what has happened to the 2024 Appropriation Act, from the explanation we got from the Honorable Minister of Finance during our last interaction with the executive, was that these projects have been executed. The capital expenditure component has been fully executed.
Of which budget now?
Of the 2024.
The capital expenditure has been executed?
Yes, that it has been fully executed. But what they are doing, because they have put in place fiscal policies in line with the administration's goal on accountability and transparency to ensure that they pay for projects that have been fully certified to have been executed, and that their team is still going around the country to confirm some of these projects. In the past, we had situations where payments will be made to contractors and you have to bring in the Economics and Financial Crimes Commission, to now begin to investigate. So he told us that that is what they are trying to avoid. And
the point I'm trying to make is, it's a very, very awkward situation we have found ourselves. Initially, we were very, very happy when we saw the federal government try to go back to, or try to implement a budget that rhymed with the year, so to speak, by starting a new budget at the beginning of every year. So the 2024 or 2023 budget should be implemented from January 1st to December 2023, etc., etc.
Yes.
But now this is September. We're almost mid-September, and the 2025 budget, particularly the capital component of the 2025 budget, has not yet been implemented.
Yes.
And you say that you do not want a war with the executive arm of government.
No, we are concerned. We are bothered as representatives of the people. Our people are worried. Nevertheless, our approach as a parliament that has achieved quite a lot in terms of the activities that were carried out, motions that receive corresponding cooperation from the executive. We believe, in a leadership style that aligns with the posture of His Excellency the Right Honorable Speaker Tajuddin Abbas, and that is one, that sees to progress, not of war, one that is collaborative in nature. Our relationship is about partnership, where the various arms of government are respected and our limits and boundaries are clearly spelled out. Like I mentioned earlier, it is our responsibility, to pass the law. It is the responsibility of the executive to implement. When they implement, we oversight. We look at what they have done. So we are worried that...
And in the event that they do not implement, whose job is that?
Yes, and like I mentioned, that's exactly why, we had to invite them. We invited them last week. Tomorrow, by 11 a.m., we'll be meeting with the Honorable Minister of Budget and Economic Planning, as well as the Minister of Finance, the Director General of the Budget Office, and even the Accountant General, to discuss, the way forward, to know why these things have not been implemented. Because according to Mr. President and what he has said, we have seen they've been able to raise enough resources locally, to service local debt. And the Honorable Minister of Finance has also said that they are doing very well in terms of revenue generation. So we want to see, just like every other Nigerian, that these things are fully implemented. And again, this takes us to, you know, what Daily Trust newspaper reported yesterday on the issue of debt and borrowing. You know, his speech of Mr. Speaker that was read at the event of the West Africa Association of Public Affairs and Finance Committees, you know, within the sub-region. And I want to put it clearly to Nigerians that Mr. Speaker's speech didn't say that, because I've seen a couple of social media platforms where Nigerians are making reference to the misinformation that was put out by Daily Trust newspaper. Let me state it clearly that Mr. Speaker and as a parliament were interested in scrutinizing, you know, borrowings, either locally or internationally sourced money. We want to see that every single penny that is taken, you know, by the government is fully accounted for. And we, as a parliament, we are promoting transparency, and that is why we are meeting with the necessary levers of powers tomorrow, you know, to ensure that we know exactly the state of affairs of the nation and why the capital expenditure has not been fully implemented.
I know Ayo has at least a question for you. Ayo.
The thing that troubles me, Maokwe, is the engagement that he talked about concerning the constituents. You know, we had a conversation earlier with someone in a particular community, and it would seem like they are disconnected from the people, the plight of the people in their community. So, Honorable, when you say that it is the people that are unhappy with one thing or the other, how do we validate this kind of things? Because at the end of the day, you're still going to go back to them and ask for their votes. So if they are not happy with something, how are we communicating with them the process? Because sometimes they expect from you something that is really not your responsibility.
Thank you very much, Ayo. You know, you are a very intelligent person, and you know the answer to that already. So to go straight to the point, this period of recess availed members of the National Assembly, both senators and representatives, you know, to visit their constituents at home and interact with them. And if you see the period of time that this agitation is coming during the period of the recess. Even in the House of Representatives, most of our committees are working. They're engaging in oversight. But as a matter of fact, we engage our constituents, you know, through media platforms, the social media, most importantly, town hall debates, you know, especially this period of holidays. So when you go home and your constituents, you know, raise these complaints, because during the town hall debate, we engage opinion leaders, religious leaders, and everybody, you know, who are major stakeholders to come forward with their views. And in January 2025, the president signed the appropriation bill into law. And of course, our constituents are very knowledgeable. They've seen copies of the budget. They know the things that are included in the budget. And of course, they really want to see these projects being executed. It was part of that worry that led to to some sort of disagreement, you know, in some of our WhatsApp platforms where members expressed themselves and the media picked it and it was well reported. And we are saying that, yes, it was well reported. We're not denying that fact. The executive too has not denied the fact that the budget has not been implemented. It is a work in progress. We're meeting with them tomorrow. As much as I do not intend to preempt the outcome of tomorrow's meeting, I know that the executive have woken up, and from the explanation given to us, like I mentioned earlier, they've told us that they've been able to source money, enough money, you know, to backroll the budget. And they are fully interested in ensuring that just the capital component, because the personnel component of the budget, like you know, has been implemented. Because salaries have been paid since January up to the agency is owing. It's just this component that they for us to have the 2025 Appropriation Act fully executed. And we believe that there's still enough time for them to carry out these things. From our checks, most of the agencies have actually, you know, done their due diligence and already undertaking procurement processes for these jobs. The jobs have been awarded. It's just a question of execution. So by God's grace, the outcome of tomorrow's meeting, which we'll be coming back to brief Nigerians about, will be a very positive one for the country.
All right, then we certainly will hold you to your promise about that one, coming back to brief Nigerians on the outcome of the meeting. We have to thank you for coming on Sunrise Daily this morning. Honorable Philip Agbesa is the Deputy Spokesperson of the House of Representatives. Thank you very much for coming on, Honorable.
It's a pleasure, my friend.